Hello and welcome to the Maysville Community and Technical College's pre-admission conference for the registered nursing programs. We offer this program on 3 campuses. We offer it at the Maysville main campus, the Licking Valley campus, which is in Cynthiana, and also at the Montgomery campus in Mount Sterling. We are going to have an admission class in August of 2021 at the Licking Valley and the Maysville main campus. We will not be admitting to the Montgomery campus for August 21. We will be admitting the following year. So if you are planning to apply for the nursing program at Maysville or Licking Valley, then please continue to watch this presentation. Again, welcome to the Maysville Community and Technical College's RN pre-admission conference. My name is Ginger Clark. I'm the Associate Dean of Health Sciences and the Nursing Program Administrator for Maysville Community and Technical College, and that includes all 4 campuses. I have included my phone number and my contact information if you need to get in touch with me for any reason. At the end of this presentation, there will also be some other contact information if needed. So the topics to be discussed in this program are the introduction, the application to the RN ADN program, the philosophy of our ADN program, where to find the application packet on the website, how to complete the packet, specific program requirements for the RN program, the selective admission process to get into the program, health screening requirements, criminal background checks, and the deadline for application, which is March 1st of the semester before you are planning to apply. So all your paperwork has to be in by March 1st to be able to be considered for the fall class. Notification of acceptance into the RN program, and probably a couple other things we'll discuss. So let's talk about the application process. And the first question is where to find the application process. If you go to the MCTC website and look under nursing, you'll see a pre-admission conference information. And there's a slot that says nursing program pre-admission conference video. That's of course what you're watching now, but underneath that it says pre-admission packet. If you click the pre-admission packet, there's admissions info packet, and there's admissions signatures. The admissions information packet is the stuff that we'll go over in this presentation. You will look at all of that, read all of that, and then the admissions signature part are all the requirements that we'll also go over in this, but it will tell you which ones that have to be sent back to the college prior to March 1st. How do you complete the application? You watch this pre-admission video, of course, then you do the admission signatures, fill out everything, and then send that back to the college. The address for it is 1755 US 68 in Maysville, Kentucky. You would address it to myself or Belinda Honiken, and it must be mailed to the main campus. Please don't mail it to another campus, because primarily we're on this campus, Belinda and myself, and we're the ones that put the application process together. Of course, the applications have to be submitted by the deadline to be considered. Incomplete applications will not be considered, so if you haven't filled out everything that we've requested in that admission signature packet, we will not consider you for this admission process. It's the student's responsibility to ensure that the application is complete and on file by the deadline. So again, mail the application to the main campus, the 1755 US 68 in Maysville, Kentucky, 41056. Please do not overnight or send by special mail requiring signatures. Most of that stuff goes to our main loading dock, and if someone is not there to sign for it, it goes back to the post office and will be sent back to you, and you could miss the deadline. So you want to send it regular mail or bring it to the campus prior to March 1st. The application to the nursing program does not guarantee admission into the nursing program. There is a selective admission process that we will discuss for admission consideration. And students will be notified via their KCTCS emails that you'll put on one of the forms if accepted or denied admission into the program. This is the philosophy of the MCTC ADN program, so I'm going to give you a few minutes to look this over. So this form is in your packet for the application, and it's the estimated program fees. So currently the tuition is $182 per credit hour. So you can imagine your first class for Nursing 101 is 9 credit hours, so it's 182 times 9. Your textbooks averages last year were $1,035. Your nursing kit average for last year was $237 per semester, and that kit includes things like your syringes, your gloves, things to do your checkoffs with in the lab. And then the ATI fee, which is our nationally normed testing bank that we use, is $500 per semester. That could change, but that's the average from last year also. And then it goes down to uniforms and caps. You don't want to purchase a uniform until you know you're in the program and you've talked to the faculty about what is required to wear. They are actually voting to change the colors this year, and you will have a monogram on it that says you're from MCTC. You don't have to buy a cap at this time. We don't require caps. Then it talks about Castle Branch, which is our records repository that we use that keeps your immunization records, your insurance, and different things so that we can provide those to the clinical sites that we go to. So you can see the average is about a little over $100. That's our current fee right now. Your immunization records, we'll go over a list that you need to have in a future slide, but that kind of is an average for the cost for those immunizations that you might have to do. Your liability insurance per semester is $11. You pay that with your tuition costs, so it's automatically built in, so you don't have to worry about that. It gives you an average for a stethoscope, watch, blood pressure, and scissors. I would tell you, if you're going to purchase a stethoscope, you want to purchase one that will be a good quality. You don't need to spend $100, but you could get a good $35 one. You definitely get what you pay for. So if you pay $4 for a stethoscope, you'll definitely have trouble hearing heart sounds, breath sounds, lung sounds, abdominal sounds. So you definitely want to purchase something. The one I have is about $35 and it works just fine. So that's some expenses. You'll also have some graduation expenses. The state licensure fee, or the NCLEX, is about $350. If you want to walk at graduation, a cap and gown is about $50. Graduation pictures, which are optional, are $30 around. Nursing pins are about $100. And then on the bottom of that form are some clinical sites that we may utilize for different clinicals. So that kind of gives you an idea of where we will be going. So this form in your packet just gives you some information about the program that we offer at MCTC in nursing. It talks about some unique requirements for admission. Some of those are that you have to have your current application to the college, official transcript, in the college already put in your LPN transcripts if applicable, results of an ACT or equivalent. You have to be on the Kentucky Nurse Aid Registry by the deadline indicated in the application packet, which is actually, we would like it by March 1st, but if you're taking the class in that spring semester before enrollment, it can be that you have to have it by the first day of class in your Nursing 101. You have to be in good academic standing with the college. You have to attend the pre-admission conference, which you're doing. You have to have official results of your TEAS examination, and you have to have a grade of a 2.5 or higher to apply. And you also have to have a Red Cross or American Heart Association healthcare provider level CPR, and that all has to be done prior to the first day of school in Nursing 101. Some of the other requirements, we just changed our Senate rules this year to include a few different things than we've done before. One is that you have to have Bio 137 and 139 completed prior to the first day of class, and it has to be done within the last 5 years of the first day of class for your Nursing 101. And we did this to make you all successful in the program. We found that a lot of people take the 139 and Nursing 101 at the same time, and they've just really struggled because 139 is a very hard class. So we're requiring that you have that prior to coming into the nursing program, and this is really just to make you more successful. You also have to have your psychology, your math, college algebra completed prior to that. Usually a lot of people take the Micro 225 the summer in between their first and second year of nursing school. Some people take it the summer prior to admission into the nursing school, which is a great idea. Then you don't have to worry about it. And if you have any other questions, you can just reach out and ask. The next form in your packet is the Registered Nursing Program Selective Admission Assessment. So basically what that means is we are a selective admissions program, meaning we have a selective number of slots that we have to fill, and that's dictated to us by the Kentucky Board of Nursing. So usually we always have more applicants than spaces. So we have a selective admissions process, and the people that are on that committee for the selective admissions are the people assigned by our president to sit on this committee and decide, going through each applicant's information. We figure out points to see how many points the student has, and then we decide who's going to be admitted due to the number of those points. And this makes it fair, meaning that not just one person is deciding, or you're not deciding because this is a friend of a friend. It's simply we go on points, how many points someone has, and how what their grades are. If for some reason there's a tie, then we look at their GPA as the deciding factor for that. So if you look up in Area 1 first, it talks about your previous college experience. So we give you points for taking Bio 137, you get 2 points. 139, you get 2 points, and so on. And so you could get a total of 14 points at this part. So we only look at grades that are in PeopleSoft, or classes that are in PeopleSoft. So we can look at transfer grades, but if you haven't transferred things in, put your transfer or your transcripts in PeopleSoft through the admissions and registrar, then we can't look at those. We can't take an unofficial transcript that you've sent over through the email or anything. Area 2 are grades achieved in biology and math courses. So if you get an A or a B in 137, 139, Math 150, or Bio 225, which is micro, then you can get 8 points for an A, 4 points for a B in each of those classes. But I want you to notice under there it says we only look at the first 2 attempts. So if you've taken bio 137 5 times, you get an A the last time. The 5th time, we don't look at that. We only look at the first 2 attempts and give you the highest grade of those 2. So we add those points and we put it down at the bottom in section 2, and you have the area points for section 1, area points for section 2. Then we look at your college GPA and courses completed at MCT and work experience. So the prerequisite is that you have to have a GPA of 2.5 to apply to the nursing program. And if you have a GPA above a 3.0 up to a 4.0, you can see you get from 12 to 18 points for that. If you have taken all of your courses at MCTC, which is any of the 4 campuses of Maysville Community and Technical College, you can get an additional 19 points for that. And that's not to punish anyone who's gone anywhere else, but it's also a way to reward the students that have been loyal to MCTC, and so they can get 19 points for that. And then we have the work and clinical experience. If you fill out the form in your admission packet that talks about healthcare experience from your work that you're currently working on, then you can get 2 points for that. I will also say for the LPN to RN, it's important that you know that our admission rules for KCTCS is that you have worked actively in the field as an LPN at the bedside for at least 1 year in the past 3 years. So that is to make sure if we're letting you skip the fundamentals class that you're current. If you just recently graduated, we know that you've been in school and you've learned those things, so that's fine. But if you've been out and working as an LPN, then we do need to make sure that you have the bedside experience. So it's 1 year in the past 3 years. I've had people come and talk to me and say, well, I haven't worked at the bedside for 15 years. Then truly you need to come back and start in the RN program at the fundamentals level, because a lot of those skills are forgotten. So we look at that, and then we look at your TEAS examination. That's area 4, and you can score between 0 and 15 points for the TEAS examination. So you have basic, you won't get any points if you score a 41.3 to a 58.6, all the way up to exemplary, and that's if you score a 90.7 or higher. If you score below a 41.3, we will not consider you for the program. You can retake it one time. We're going to talk about the TEAS on a different slide so that you can see that. But we take all of those areas, 1, 2, 3, and 4, we add them up, and then we see what your total points are at that point. You also have to have an LPN license that is unencumbered. So that means that you don't have any problems with the Board of Nursing or anything like that. So this slide talks about taking the TEAS examination. You can find this information in your admission packet, but the big thing is that the TEAS is our part of our points, as I discussed before, for the selective admission process. And TEAS stands for the Test of Essential Academic Skills. It's much like an ACT. It's just for healthcare professionals. It's a part of a national exam, and it's designated specifically to assess the student's academic preparedness. And the test is multiple choice, and the skills assessed are in mathematics, reading, science, English, and language usage. So I have given you on this slide, and it's on the website, the ATI testing link that gives you some information on how to study at home. I know I would have to study at home because I haven't taken a test like this in a long time, so I would want to be prepared. There's some free webinars, different things like that. The library has books you can check out for it. Also required that you take this test. It is required that you take it before the application deadline, which again is the end of last business day in October. The required score to be considered for the ADN program The minimum is a 41.3, and again, it goes up from there. You won't get any points for a 41.3 to a 58.6 because that's basic. If you score below a 41.3, ATI considers you in the developmental area. So you should take it again if you can. You can take it one time per admission cycle, one extra time. So you can take it twice per admission cycle. So if you score below a 41.3, I would study a little more and then retake it. You have to schedule with the testing center to do this. The information is again on the website under MCTC and under nursing for the testing center and how to sign up for the taking the TEAS examination. It is a cost that you will incur. It's about $65 for the test or $69, and then you have to pay a $10 fee for Proctorio to be your proctoring system. Okay, thank you. So the next form included in your packet is a statement of understanding. This form will have to be returned with your admission packet to the college. And it says, as a student of this program, I agree to the rules, regulations, policies, and procedures as stated below. The program requires a period of assigned guided clinical experiences, either at the college or other appropriate facility in the community. For educational purposes and practice on live models, I will allow other students to practice procedures on me, and I will practice procedures on them under the guidance and direct supervision of my instructor. The nature and educational objectives of these procedures have been fully explained to me. No guarantee or assurances have been given to me by any representative of the college as to any problem that might be incurred as a result of these procedures. So usually you have lab partners that you practice head-to-toe assessments on. You practice listening to heart sounds, lung sounds, bowel sounds, different things like that. So that it gives you a much better way to practice than listening on a mannequin. These clinical experiences are assigned by the instructor for their educational value, and thus no payments or wages will be earned or expected. It is understood I will be a student within the clinical facilities that affiliate with my college and will conduct myself accordingly. I will follow all required and published personnel policies, standards, philosophy, and procedures of these agencies. I will agree at my own expense to obtain all health screenings, immunizations, criminal background checks, and drug screenings as required by the affiliating agency. I have been provided a copy of and read and agree to adhere to the college policies, rules, and regulations related to the program for which I am applying. I understand that information regarding patient or former patients is confidential and may be used only for clinical purposes within an educational setting according to the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act of 1996 or HIPAA. I understand that the educational experiences and knowledge gained during the program do not entitle me to a job. However, if all educational objectives and licensure requirements are successfully obtained, I will be qualified for a job in this occupation. I understand that any action on my part inconsistent with the above understandings may result in suspension of training. I understand that I am liable for my own medical and hospital expenses, and I understand that I am accountable for my own actions. Therefore, I will carry the minimum liability insurance, which again is in your tuition cost each semester, the facility. So you say I have read and understand each term above and agree to abide by this statement of understanding, and you sign it and date it, and you'll return that with your admission packet. Now, to go into a little more depth of some of these, I will say number 4, it says that you understand that you're a student within the clinical facilities that affiliate with the college. If you look on the previous sheet that gave you some of the examples of places we go, if a facility refuses you admittance into their clinical setting for some reason, if you were fired from that facility, we will try to find another facility. But if we don't go to another facility, then that may exclude you from the program. When you talk about adhering to the college's policies, rules, and regulations. We give you a student handbook at the beginning of the nursing program, and that is your Bible basically for the program. It tells you about uniforms, what you have to be, what you have to wear to clinical facilities, about professionalism, and we are very strong on you following those rules. If for some reason you come to a clinical setting and you are out of uniform for some reason, you wore purple shoes, you wore your hair, you have 15 earrings in and your tongue is pierced. If you have not taken those things out for the clinical setting, you can be sent home and given an unsatisfactory for that. We're very strict on the rules. I am the first person that a facility will usually contact to say, why is your student out of uniform? If you have tattoos, they have to be covered. Why is your student having tattoos? If our facility says you can't do that, that our own staff can't do that, then why should your students be able to do that? And they know who our students are, those facilities. You guys are all in the same colors. And if I get that call and I have to call the clinical instructor and say who's out of uniform, who's wearing jewelry, who's wearing a tongue ring, etc., you will be sent home and you will be given an unsatisfactory. If you get 3 unsatisfactories, again, you are out of the program. So we follow those rules not just because we like to write rules. Those came from the facilities. We have long-standing relationships with the facilities we go to, and it's not fair for students to be out of the conformed uniform that their staff have to be in. So yes, our restrictions are strict. We expect you to follow them. I don't care what you do when you're working on your own time, but when you're in a facility and you're representing the college and you're representing the nursing program, we expect you to adhere to all uniform requirements. We expect you to act professionally at all times, have your badge on at all times if you're representing the college. And so those are things that you want to definitely be aware of and know that we are very strict on that. HIPAA is another thing that we are very concerned about. Breaking HIPAA can result in a huge fine for students, up to $250,000 of your money. It wouldn't be covered under the liability insurance. So we all live in small towns. MCTC is basically every campus is in a small rural area and everybody knows everybody. So we take this very seriously, and you do not want to talk about a patient that you are caring for at any time anywhere outside of the setting of the hospital to your instructor or to the nurse caring for them. You don't even want to discuss it between each other. You don't want to discuss it at the lunch table, what you did to Mr. So-and-so in room 239A, because their family may be sitting there and know exactly who you're talking about. And the hospital can find out that you broke HIPAA, and they can call us and they can refuse to allow you back into the facility, which basically means that you would be out of the program. So we take HIPAA very seriously, and you don't want to put anything on social media. You don't want to put anything out there that would in any way jeopardize your admission into the program or the possibility of being fined federally for breaking HIPAA confidence. The next form in your packet is technical standards. So it says nursing at the technical level involves the provisions of direct care for individuals and is characterized by the application of verified knowledge in the skillful performance of nursing functions. Therefore, in order to be retained in the program, all applicants should possess 1, sufficient visual acuity such as needed in the preparation and administration of medications and for the observation necessary for patient assessment and nursing care. So that means that you have to be able to see adequately to draw up medications in a syringe, that you can read that syringe in those tiny numbers, or it can be corrected with glasses. 2, sufficient auditory perception to receive verbal communication from patients and members of the healthcare team, and to assess health needs in people through the use of monitoring devices such as cardiac monitors, stethoscopes, IV infusion pumps, dop tones, fire alarms, etc. 3, sufficient gross and fine motor coordination to respond promptly and to implement the skills, including the manipulation of equipment required in meeting health needs. So you have to be able to support a patient, carry a patient if they fall, help lift a patient, and also have fine motor coordination, again, to draw up syringes, different things like that. 4, sufficient communication skills, speech, reading, writing, to interact with individuals and to communicate their needs promptly and effectively as may be necessary in the individual's interests. Sufficient intellectual and emotional functions to plan and implement care for individuals. So this form again needs to be signed and returned to the main campus with your admission packets. And it has, if you need any special accommodations, that you contact myself or Lori Gauntz at the registrars or admissions department. So this form in your pre-admission packet is for your personal information, how we can reach you, what's the best phone number, the best email, etc. You will be giving a response to whether you are accepted into the program or denied through the program through email. So we want you to fill this out, and you don't have to put your social security number on there. We're not going to require that, but we do want your student ID number. We do want a good email address so that we know that you will be contacted. We also need an emergency contact, and then which program you're applying to. So if you're applying for the fall semester at Montgomery County, you would check that for new students. If you're trying to be readmitted into the program, you would check readmission into what like fall semester, spring semester of the program. The next form that we're going to talk about is the KBN, or Kentucky Board of Nursing Crime Conviction Procedure Acknowledgement. And before we get to this form, I want to make sure that you see that you need to read the KBN Criminal Conviction Brochure in the admission packet. This is a form that answers a lot of questions, the brochure does. It also has the Kentucky Board of Nursing phone number that you can contact them if you have any questions about your criminal background or your criminal background check. The Kentucky Board of Nursing has the right to deny you the ability to sit for the national testing or the NCLEX because of things that might be on your criminal background check. So I can't answer those questions. The Kentucky Board of Nursing can answer those questions for you. Kentucky Board of Nursing does have mandatory reporting of all criminal convictions. So even when I renew my license every year, I have to check that I haven't had any misdemeanors or other crimes on my background. If I fail to do that, they could either fine me or suspend my nursing license if I lie and think, oh, they won't find out. And the criminal background checks for students before sitting for the NCLEX actually go through the FBI. So you want to be honest. I've heard of students who have lied, been allowed to test, but as soon as they passed, they got their licensure, but they also got a huge fine from the Kentucky Board of Nursing. So it's not something that you want to mess around with when you are looking at that. Again, I can't answer those questions. You need to call the Kentucky Board of Nursing. But this KBN Conviction Procedure Acknowledgement says the KBN requires that all prospective nursing students and or enrolled nursing students be aware of the established procedures an individual must complete if he or she has been convicted of a crime. This includes felony and misdemeanors, except traffic violations. The following must be completed: An individual may write a letter to the executive director of the Board of Nursing requesting a hearing and explaining the circumstances of a crime. B, request that official copies of the charges, conviction, and penalty be sent to the executive director of the Board of Nursing and submit additional information as requested. Number 2, a hearing will be scheduled if the charges were of such nature as to be related to the occupation of nursing. Or B, if the penalty imposed has been fulfilled, a hearing will not be scheduled for an individual on parole or probation. 3, the Board of Nursing will consider A, the nature of the offense and its relationship to the occupation of nursing, B, the activities of the individual since the crime was committed, and 4, the Board of Nursing will give reasonable assurance that A, the individual will not be permitted to take the state board test pool examination if he or she completes a nursing program, or B, the individual will be permitted to take the state board test pool examination if there are no further problems and the nursing program is successfully completed. So we need you to sign this paper and date it and return it with your admission packet. This form is our policy for readmission. So if you are considering trying to come back in because you were unsuccessful in one of our programs, you can look at this form and it's in your admission packet. And the big things that you have to do are submit a letter to myself to say why you want to be considered for readmitting into the program. You also have to get a faculty member to recommend that you be in the program, but you can read this in your packet and get further information. So this form is the work experience form that shows that you've worked as an LPN or nursing assistant. If you have nursing student experience, you need to turn this form in with your application, so it has to be turned in by the deadline to be considered for 2 extra points. And so you have to have this signed by your manager at your work or your HR person at your work, or a faculty member if it's for nursing student experience, and then turn that form in. So I want to talk about a few things just to consider when you're considering nursing as a profession and going to nursing school. And the first thing I want to say is that we are so excited. We just found out this month, in the month of October, that our Licking Valley campus was just ranked #1 in the state of Kentucky for nursing programs. And we went up 2 spots from last year over Berea and UK respectively. And we're so excited about that. That means that, you know, #1, we're doing a great job teaching our students, and #2, our students are doing a fantastic job learning and being prepared to become nurses. Our Maysville campus ranked #21 in the state. We went up 2 spots from last year, and we're very excited about that. We take more students at the Maysville campus, and you know, our pass rates are great at both programs. We're really excited about that, and we're excited about our faculty. We're excited about our students. But I also want to say that nursing school is something that is very difficult. It's difficult to become a nurse. You have to be 100% to 110% committed every day to become a nurse. It requires a lot of studying. It requires that you give up time with your family and your friends to study. But the end result is fantastic because you get to become a nurse in one of the most noble professions that's out there. Especially in this time of COVID and uncertainty, we need nurses. We need nursing students to help with the nursing. And you know, it's such a fantastic career. I'm proud every day to say that I'm a nurse, and I'm a nurse first. I'm an educator second. And I think that that's important. You know, I give to my community, I give to my college, I give to my students, and that makes me feel proud every day. So I want you to be proud of this. I want you to be excited about nursing school, but I also want you to know it will be 2 tough years if you're in this program. You have to be committed to studying. You have to be committed to working hard, but you can certainly do it. And we welcome you into this program and into this fine profession. So this form that's included in your pre-admission packet just is a certificate of a completion. So you want to write your name, the date of viewing, your email address, and then you're basically signing that you did listen to this advising session and that you are aware of the topics pertaining to the associate degree nursing program and your pre-admission conference verification code, which is MCTC RN 2021. If you will put that in there and send that in, that just says for Kentucky Board of Nursing that you have attended a pre-admission conference, that you have been giving this information, you understand it, and that you are writing that verification code to say you watched it. Thanks. This form is the final form in the packet, and it's the campus selection form. So we do offer the program at 3 campuses, but we are not going to be admitting into the Montgomery campus in August of 2021. We will admit in August of 2022. And the other 2 campuses that will be admitting in August of 2021 is the Maysville main campus and the Licking Valley campus. You want to put your first choice and second choice. If you only want to go to 1 campus, then just put that as your main choice. If you do want to go to different campuses, you do have to send an entire admission packet in for each campus if you're applying for them. Again, we will try to honor your first choice, but sometimes we can't because of the points that are for one campus or another may be higher than the other. So, but we do try to honor your first choice. Finally, you need to schedule a TEAS examination with the testing center at MCTC, and I have written on here any MCTC campus, but you really need to call the testing center at the Maysville campus. You need to fill out all your paperwork in the admission packet, mark with blue writing, and return it to the MCTC main campus in Maysville. Do not send it via overnight shipping, needing a signature or any special way. It will not get delivered and it will be returned to you. If you have any questions, please reach out to myself, our division assistant, or any of the nursing faculty, as we are all here to help you make this a smooth process. I've again included my phone number, and I've also included the division assistant's phone number. You can reach out to either one of us or email us and let us know what questions you have. My email is ginger.clark@kctcs.edu, and Belinda's is belinda.honeken@kctcs.edu. Thank you guys for attending this pre-admission conference. I wish you all the best of luck and welcome to the start of your career.